I feel like the thing that I currently need the most is actually just support and understanding from those around me and from myself first. So I'm actually going to give it to you guys. I really want this video to be just a little message of warmth and love. And I want to talk about why your situation matters, why your problems matter. I actually wanted to film a full Krakow vlog, but I was pretty busy doing some other things. I've actually never filmed a non-scripted video before. I wanted to experiment with this kind of format for such a long time. It was just my perfectionism that didn't really allow me to do it. I just want people who need it to actually find it. And even if those around you may depreciate it and say that, oh, but you're not in that bad situation. Like, your situation, your circumstances are not that bad. Like, there are people who are having worse days, worse times. And like, you're here complaining about some minor problems. For me, that's not true, seriously. While this mindset can be helpful to take a bit of a broader perception on the world, every person's problems still matter. Like, seriously. I've been to a bookstore a few days ago and I actually bought this book called The Body Keeps the Score, which is all about trauma, because I'm honestly a bit tired of self-help books, so I decided to dive into a deep psychology, which I'm so excited for because that's actually what I want to study. And I've already got some insights about trauma, and a lot of things I actually find to resonate with me. I think a lot of people actually have some kind of trauma, or they had some kind of traumatic experience, that impacts them to this day. But I think that our society just doesn't really think that mental problem is something, like valuable. It's something that's really worth trying to understand and learn it. Like, a lot of people are still in that kind of mindset. And if you are wondering up until this day whether some of your problems are actually worth thinking about and trying to solve them or not, I'm gonna tell you that they are. They honestly are, because whatever is sitting in your head for quite some time is actually bothering you. I'm just not a type of person trying to avoid myself and trying to avoid what's inside of me, because a lot of people are really doing it because it's really actually so easy to avoid yourself, to avoid some kind of problems around you. Like, I'm just daily thinking of how different things would be and how probably better people would live if we just didn't have all of the social media and other ways to numb ourselves. Let's just take how much people are smoking. Like, that's crazy, seriously. In my opinion, most people are having these bad habits because they cope something with it, There is something bothering them within that they are not willing to understand and to meet and to treat. And so they're just numbing it. This example itself proves how much people actually struggle mentally for some long periods of time. I don't want you to think that I actually exaggerate all of the mental problems and, like, let's just be like sitting in our head, in our thoughts, like 24/7. What I'm simply saying is, if something is bothering you for a long time, then it's actually worse understanding and solving instead of ignoring and numbing. That's what I think. And I experience it myself, so that's why I think it's important to share this message right now. So, there are some reasons why people actually give up before finding a solution to their problems. First one is they don't actually believe they can do it. They think that it's just all too complicated. And second one that just spirals up, they simply lack patience to find solution for their problem, and they think that if it just, doesn't solve itself in like a short amount of time, then it's just impossible, and they just immediately go for these easier ways to cope it, which is why they end up being addicted and suffering. I just think that however difficult the problem is, it's really worth diving into it and trying to solve things, because I am really voting for the depths of the experience, for the depths of life. It doesn't really make sense to numb yourself. It doesn't really make sense to hide away. One thing I want to mention right now, realizing how to treat the problem and actually treating the problem are quite different things. And so I don't want you to build a fake image of all the people who create self-help kind of content, that they've solved all the problems in their life and they have nothing to face. They're just all good. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I'm personally struggling with it. I'm so sorry for the angle of how I was filming, because my hand is just really tired. I realize all the kind of things like people don't give a fuck, just live however you want and stuff. You know, it doesn't really mean that I figure things out. I just love this kind of videos where people are sharing their insights. It can be much more useful sometimes. So self-help is also nice and cool. Sometimes it's important to understand that things can be a little bit deeper. Like, if you really struggle for a long time to stick for some kind of mindset, though you really try to, maybe it means that not that you're doing something wrong, but that things are just a little bit deeper, you know, and they need to be treated a little bit deeper than you are currently trying to treat them. It's really good when you have someone to share your problems, when you have someone that can help you. But if you don't have people who are there for you, you should still probably try doing things yourself, because I really believe you can. You really can, and you really should try, because at the end of the day, it's just your life and we are responsible for our happiness. I just feel over responsible so often. Like, I'm just so responsible for so many things. And it really makes me feel overwhelmed. But what I'm truly responsible for is my life and my happiness. I suggest you remembering about it even on your bad days, and you can do it. You can truly do it. Things are deep, and most of the problems and answers lies pretty deep. And in order to get that deep, you really need to be determined and to spend a lot of time removing all the distraction. That was I was talking about in a video about how to discover your authentic self. This is applicable here too. It's the same thing, because when you remove all the stuff, like all the biases that causes you problems, that's when you become your most authentic self. You really need to shut all of the distractions down and try figuring things out yourself. Though I would call this journey really ugly. It depends on how you actually look at it. But sometimes it's just pretty ugly when you don't understand things. You only realize how much problems you have and how less answers. I really call you in this video, try really being your main hero. Really. It's worth it. I know, sometimes it's really hard to say fuck people's opinions or anything. I like to take a third eye perspective on my life sometimes, to just see how some things are not so bad. And yes, I have a long way to go, but that's real. There is an eventual solution, there is an eventual end to all of that. Ones who try may fail all throughout their process, but they end up winning. And those people who don't try, they seem to never really fail, but at the end, they just lose. So I'd rather you try. I hope this video finds some people who need it. I hope this video finds some people who can resonate. And even if it doesn't, okay, there is such an option, like maybe nobody will watch it, but at least I showed up. At least I tried doing something. And it's all about trying. If you watched this video until the end, I'm really grateful. That was kind of an exposure therapy for me, you know, because I was feeling so insecure and miserable lately. But there's nothing wrong with that. And now I'm voting for my happiness, and I'm actually doing thing I love to do, which is filming, which is thinking, analyzing, oldest thing that refers to human psychology. So really, screw it all and just try making yourself happy. Just try making things better, because it's pretty much possible. And I hope something resonated with you. If so, then please leave a comment, because I'm here to just create a community. I just really want a community of like-minded people who are willing to be safe space for each other and help each other. I don't want a million of subscribers. I want much less, but those who are really, really open and active here. So if this idea resonates to you, then please subscribe and stay with me for the next videos. I'll keep experimenting because I'm basically just starting this channel. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it brings some kind of sense to your life. Bye!